Thank you in advance for listening to the story I'm about to tell you. I had a crush on a girl in grade 6. I just met her. I had a crush on her. I asked her out at a party. She said yes. Like 4 hours later, I broke up with her because I was like, this is moving too fast. You know, she's not going to be my wife. What am I going to do? I was always just like a deep thinker, you know? And then we were at another party at another time, and I think that like I still had a crush on her or something, and then I think that like I kissed another girl under a piano, and I remember she stormed out and was upset, and I was like, no, and you know, I love you, and she left. And then we continued a friendship, but she dated other people that I knew, some of my friends. She was my first kiss on a golf course. My first kiss, I'll never forget it. And the reason that I'll never forget it is that I had a crush on her, and then I sort of got like infatuated with her. And I think that if you were a fly on the wall and you watched it, you could have made an argument that I was obsessed with her. And that sort of lasted for a while, but we never dated. But she sort of knew that everyone my friends kind of knew that I was like really into this girl, you know? But I was like disguising these real deep emotions that I had inside. Like I was really suppressing them and internalizing them so no one really knew the gravity of how much I felt for this girl. We went to prom together. Like she asked me to prom because she kind of knew that I was like this, like, you know, sort of like childhood sweetheart, this guy. And through high school, I had a crush on another girl, and it turned into an infatuation. And I think you could argue an obsession, and it destroyed that relationship. And then through university, there was a girl from camp I was so into, and you know, I disguised as love, like I love her, you know. But and then there was another girl through my mid-20s, and all these girls. I went from one girl to the next girl. You know, it was like I liked them, I met them, I had a crush on them, I sort of became infatuated with them, and I think you could argue that I was obsessed with them. Flashback, I'm playing basketball in my backyard, my mom's calling me in for dinner, and I get a thought in my head that I need to sink a basket for every member of my family before I go inside. 4 siblings, my 2 parents, my babysitter, and I'm trying in a row. And my mom's calling me in for dinner, and I'm there shooting these basketballs, trying to like give 7 in a row, and she's calling me in for dinner, and I have this indescribable anxiety in my body unless I sink 7 in a row before I go in for dinner. But she calls me in again, and I have to go for dinner. So I just like, you take a deep breath and you just fight it off and you go in for dinner. I'm lying on my bed in my bedroom, and I'm knocking on there's a window right beside my bed, and I'm knocking on the glass, and I get a thought in my head, how hard would I have to knock this glass to break it? And I knock the glass once, I think, okay, and I hit it again. I kind of hit it again, and then you're like, no, you know? Like, what am I going to fucking break the window, you know? I had twitches, like little, like with my nose, you know, like, you know? I don't know if you can see that, you know? I'm sure you've seen people who have that. A little twitch in my eye. The same year that Schindler's List came out, my family went to Washington to visit the Washington Holocaust Memorial Museum. Was the same year that D-Day had all these like documentaries about D-Day on TV, and I started to like obsess about the Holocaust. Like I would lie in bed thinking about like where would I hide, what would I do, my family, what would I do, and it almost like hurt. It was like a very painful experience, you know, just thinking about that and not getting that out of your head. And I remember that once I was like lying in bed and there was a sock on the floor and it sort of looked like a kneecap, and I was thinking about like the bones, the people, and I couldn't get it out of my head. Close your eyes and picture a fan going one way, and then stop the fan and make it go the other way. Some people have some trouble doing that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just stop this thing from spinning, even if it just wouldn't, you know? I'm driving my motorboat, and my cottage, we have a little putt-putt, and I got a thought in my head to let go of the motor and then hold it again. I'm driving the boat, right? My family's in the boat. And I let go, you know? And let go for another second. Can't let, you know? And then my dad asked me why I don't want to drive the motorboat anymore. And I told him, and my dad's a doctor. And he quickly clued in, you know, this must be obsessive compulsive disorder. And he sent me to a doctor, sure enough, diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder. I get put on Zoloft, and I'm like upset about that. I'm insecure. This is many years ago, you know, brain medication. Who wants to be on that? Like, what do you mean? I was very insecure about that. I was taught to thought stop. Here was the technique. Whenever a thought would come in my head, do as quickly as possible, do anything you can to just get it out of your head, like to not let it over, like come in. So if a thought gets in my head to do something like little mundane, just like leave the room, think of something else, do something else right away, notice it and move on. It's really intense, right? And then I stopped seeing my therapist because I'm like thought stopping. And then years later, many years later, I'm like having anxiety as like an adult. And I go see a counselor, like what is it called? A career counselor, who then sends me to another doctor, and he's a psychoanalyst. And I said to him, I've been in therapy before, I want to do this. Like if I'm gonna be here and I'm like trying to deal with this anxiety, I don't know what it is. We're gonna do Woody Allen styles. I wanna lie in the bed, you sit behind me, you just sit there, don't talk, and I'm just gonna lie and say everything in my mind. I don't know, this sort of Freudian psychoanalysis. He says, okay. I've been doing that twice a week, every week for 8 years. And I have this anxiety still. But the weird thing is that I lie on this couch and him and I talk about what my problems might be. And sometimes he thinks my anxiety might be like ADD or, I would say like I have every DD. But sometimes I think, is it my OCD, those little tasks that I used to feel like I had to do and get anxious about, has it now manifest as an adult into this bigger umbrella like the tasks of life, job, career, wife, and all this stuff, and I'm anxious about all that? Is that how it's manifest in my life now as a 34-year-old? I often find it amusing when people say, I'm so OCD about this. Everyone says, I'm so OCD about that. And it's like, I'm not sure that they quite get the gravity of it, but we're all in sort of, some people who say that they sort of have obsessive compulsive tendencies, they're obviously on some spectrum somewhere. My mom's a doctor, and she's also a doctor, and she said that she once had a patient who would scrub their floors 3 times a day. This woman would scrub her floors 3 times a day. It took over her life. The idea of not being able to control your mind. Even today, sometimes when I'm driving in my car, someone will be really close behind me, and I'll get the thought to like turn around really quick, look back. Unbelievable. It's very uncomfortable. And right? And then it'll be like, It's very dangerous. You can do it really quickly and just to get a look at them. And now I've noticed, like I think it happened like a few months ago, and I just stopped. I didn't even do it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. Those little tasks have kind of gone away. One thing that I find, having had those experiences with obsessive compulsive disorder and still trying to figure it out all today, is that it's built me empathy with people who can't control their minds, people who are in jail who have done terrible things. And I really mean this, and this is a very sort of loud thing to say, but I'm going to say it. People in jail, people who have done horrible things in their life. I have a few friends who have committed suicide. I wouldn't do things like that, but I understand the inability to control your mind. Mine was, very minuscule, these little things, but it can really take over. It's crazy. And through all of it, the support of my family, the support of my siblings to have been patient all these years with me, those girls for forgiving me, I'm still friends with all of them. It's those people and that support when someone's in that place and has that condition that allow them to move forward and learn how to stop that fan and turn it the other way. Thank you.